Welcome, FNews57 here. Once again, I'm back on my Xbox and we're playing some Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Today I'll be going over everything for the Extinction Protocol event. Now, this is the brand new event in, you guessed it, Black Ops 6 Zombies. So, yes, it is another leaderboard event. Yes, we do have a double XP and double gums event active, and this is the perfect time to start this event. So, leaderboard events, they're kind of annoying. As a heads up, if you play a match of zombies, you're going to get put into this event regardless, which is kind of weird and it could be a little upsetting. So if you want to know how to get as many points as quickly as possible, this video is for you. We're going to go over everything and I'll basically give you a couple of different methods, but I'll show you what I've found to be the easiest. So yeah, I know it's the Black Ops 7 waiting room, which means, hey, I want those gumballs in Black Ops 7. Now, this event, it doesn't feel like the rewards are that worthwhile, so I totally understand if you don't want to farm the event. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below, but I'll try to make this as easy as possible. So, you get an emblem, and the only ultra rare gumball is for first place. The rest of the gumballs aren't that great, but it is extra gumballs. So as you can see, I got a decent leaderboard where I don't think that we have any sweats. I'm at 24,000 points on there, and this is different from all of the other leaderboard events. I don't agree with how they made the leaderboard, but it is what it is. So what you need to do, just like all other events, is get kills, but we have to get them in a specific manner. So a regular zombie is worth 1 point, a special is worth 25, elites are worth 100 points, and specific medals like fully charged, obliterator, scorched earth, and fire away are each worth an additional 100 points. But this is the kick in the ass part. We must get these kills while field upgrades are active or with score streaks. So basically, your common high round strategy, playing the game, normally, all of that will work perfectly fine. But if you want to optimize it, I'm going to show you the best method. Now, there is another method that does rely on the glitch, the unlimited field upgrade glitch. The only problem is it's very, very RNG dependent, and I have tried for hours upon hours upon hours to get the proper SAM trial to do it, just to give you the footage, and I don't have that. It never showed up for me, so I wouldn't rely on it. You can use gumballs if you want. Some that'll help you out are things like Temporal Gift, Double Points, Dead Drop, and Soda Fountain, but they are obviously not required in the slightest. A decent weapon, preferably something with fast movement speed, like an SMG. Case in point, the Dresden 9mm is what we're going to be using. You will want Ether Shroud and a couple of perks. Augments are going to be entirely personal preference. You don't need anything really special, but I do recommend that you have probiotic and hardened plates on your Juggernog. Melee Macchiato could be Espresso or Vampiric Extraction. Doesn't really matter. Vulture Aid, I prefer Fetid Upgrade and Condor's Reach for it. And then Death Perception is going to be Critical Eye. And your Deadshot Daiquiri, you'll probably want Dead Again. Again, not absolutely mission critical. You can have no augments at all and do this perfectly fine. So don't worry about it too much. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and load up a standard match of zombies. Very important that you do that, not Haunted Havoc. If you're playing the game normally, Haunted Havoc is better, but unfortunately it's not as good for what we want to do here. So you're going to go solo, Citadel d'Amour. We're going back to our favorite haunt there. I'm sure you guys have seen me on this map. I'm going to leave everything in the video, but I'm going to try to make it as fast as I possibly can. So basically, all we want to do is we want to get a couple of perks. You can use the sword if you want to, but you don't have to. And we basically need like 2,000 salvage. Couple perks, 2,000 salvage, and then we are, bam, good to go. We're going to take advantage of a couple of side Easter eggs just to make it a little bit easier. You don't have to do them. It's entirely personal preference.
Remember how to do this.
Alright, so as soon as we get in the map, we're going to flip the Rampage Inducer on. If you don't want to flip the Rampage Inducer on, that's perfectly fine. I'm only doing it to make the video a little bit shorter, because I know you find folks like quick videos. All we're going to do, try to build up as many points as possible. If you want to do the Rat King's Easter egg, you can. I'm leaving all of this in the video just to make it easy for folks to follow along. As mentioned earlier, feel free to use the timestamps, or you could increase the playback speed of the video if you wanted to. All you need to do is build up as many points as possible, and, well, you really don't even have to reach a specific wave, because we're not intending to use the swords, but I would recommend that you have the lion sword. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to get a couple thousand salvage built up. This way we can get the weapon or the score streak that we need for this, and you will want to have Juggernog, Quick Revive, and at minimum a 2-plate vest. You'll also need PhD Flopper, but I'll show you a workaround for that, just in case you get unlucky. If you are going to use gumballs, I do recommend that you have a temporal gift in your inventory. This way, if you get a world spawn double points, you can go ahead and use it right off the bat. Remember, when you turn on that rampage inducer, it makes the zombies so much faster that I have an awkward time with it personally, so that's why I normally don't use it. We're going to try to build up as many points as possible here. It's very simple. You want to make your way to unlocking Pack-a-Punch as early as possible, because that will be easier. I'm taking advantage of our nice, wonderful boosted double points, though. Gonna try to make sure that we only have like one zombie alive here. Doing pretty good. Definitely grab the spare change. I'm doing the Rat King's Easter egg because you can get some free rewards from it that can be pretty helpful. But we'll come up here, and just like always, you can follow the prompts to go ahead and make sure that you're going to the right place to get Pack-a-Punch unlocked. You should be able to get there roughly around wave 5, depending on your luck with the power-ups that drop, and if you wish to buy any perks along the way. Entirely personal preference, though. Nothing too crazy. I am going to hit the gumball machine here and try to get another temporal gift. We got a shields up. That's not really going to help us right now. You do pass right by Jug when you do this, obviously, so very, very much a personal preference, but a good idea to go ahead and grab that if you want. I'm grabbing the rats along the way. Sometimes you get super lucky and you'll get like a free Pack-a-Punch crystal or something. We are going to have to spend a lot of points because we're going to have to open a bunch of doors. But the whole reason why you want to get to Pack-a-Punch early, and you never want to talk to the doc, so just don't even worry about that. But the lower the round that you're on when you get here, and if you happen to have a insta-kill active, all the better. It makes it a lot easier to kill this Doppelgast that is guarding the Pack-a-Punch. This is where if you have a weapon with the underbarrel drill charge launcher, it does really well. And that's why I like to save that last zombie. Now, there is a method to my madness on this. The lower the round that you get Pack-a-Punch unlocked on, the earlier you can get Sam Trials. And while we're not super focused on Sam Trials, there's a few things that we need. Now, we're going to need these regardless. So there is a bartending Easter egg. You're going to want to pick up this bottle of alcohol right down here. We're going to move this rat while we're here. I swear every time I play on this map, there is always a zombie stuck there. And then we're going to go back. We've got 2 more bottles of alcohol. You'll eventually obviously need to Pack-a-Punch your weapon because we're going to need that. But we're not too worried about it right off the bat here. Do not talk to the doc because that's going to trigger the page step, and you don't want the page step since that'll make it so that the traps are, alas, well, one of them will randomly not work, or 3 of them will randomly not work because they're used for the Easter egg step. So just bear that in mind while you're doing this. Alright. We got the first bottle of alcohol. We got the second bottle of alcohol off of that shelf. There's going to be a third bottle of alcohol that we need. It's actually right up here. And then we'll have all the bottles of alcohol. There we go, all 3. You simply go up to them and press and hold the interact button. That's going to allow us to do the bartending Easter egg any round that we want to that's not a bug round. So pretty much you could get this set up by like wave 6, 7. You can get it set up really early on, especially if you sacrifice some perks, but I don't like to sacrifice perks, especially playing with the Rampage Inducer on. So, to each their own, I suppose. If you do get a SAM trial, remember that activating the bartending Easter egg will actually cause the SAM trial to disappear. In this room where you have Juggernog, right here in the center castle, is a pretty good place, even with the Rampage Inducer on. The zombies line up in nice long straight lines, so you can kind of funnel them easier and get crit kills even without your weapon being pack-a-punched. Get as much points and salvage. We don't want to spend any salvage at this point upgrading the rarity of our weapon, mostly because we need to go ahead and use all of that to get a war machine. You can also do this with the death machine, but it's less effective. So I'm going to buy Jug just to be on the safe side here. Make sure I have enough essence to go ahead and hit up this nice SAM trial. Again, you don't have to do the SAM trials if you don't want to. But considering the next round, I'm going to do the bartending Easter egg. I don't want to lose the SAM trial. SAM trials are really good. Alright, stand still. We can do this. Super easy. Some SAM trials are difficult, but as long as you get the legendary reward from the SAM trial, it's basically always worth doing. You're going to get your essence back, and in addition to that, you're going to get some salvage, which we need, plus some random spicy stuff. So that's why we were in such a rush to open up Pack-a-Punch as early as possible. Obviously, stand still can be a little bit difficult. We don't have a pack-a-punched weapon here, so we're not doing the damage that really we need to be, but that's alright. It's a little crazy here without a pack-a-punched weapon. Just a little. We'll get it, though. We'll get it. I'm going to use my molly, too.
I had expected you to be rocking back and forth in a fetal position by now.
It just all depends on how much of a rush you're in. If, like me, you're in a rush, you're going to get yourself in a sticky situation. Come on, 3 kills, 3 kills. Don't want to lose Jug here. It's much easier if you just take your time and you don't use the Rampage Inducer, but we got it. Come on, give me something good. Nothing good. Alright, well, that happens.
I'm no longer allowed to do so.
That's alright. We can go ahead and do the bartending Easter egg, so simply duck in here at the beginning of a non-bug round, interact with the tray, and all of these zombies will leave you alone. Now, it is best if you do this without the Rampage Inducer turned on, because the zombies will be a little more forgiving with how quickly you serve them your drinks, but it's alright. Basically, what you need to do is you need to match the color on the drink to the color that the zombie wants. Make sure you place it in the correct spot, and make sure you do this relatively quickly. If you don't do it fast enough, the zombies will get pissed off, and then it just start attacking you. And the same thing will happen if you serve the incorrect drink. Every correct drink that you serve to a zombie then kills the zombie, and they give you at least 100 essence. They will also sometimes give you 500 essence. I don't remember the exact number of zombie drinks that you have to serve, but you do have to serve almost an early wave's worth of zombies correctly in order to get a free perk, and that free perk is PhD Flopper, which we absolutely need for this. So on this particular map, you cannot get PhD Flopper Come on, put the drink down, put the drink down. We got the wrong drink in our hands here. And... yes! Whew!
Practicing my belly flop for this.
I almost did not get that completed. Alright, here we go. We now have PhD Flopper on round 7. That is what I am talking about. Just need a little bit more, and we are good to go. So we'll go ahead and just kill these guys real quick. I do have, obviously, PhD Slider on. It gets a little crazy doing that with a 1-plate vest. I recommend that you have a 2-plate vest before you start this craziness. So I would say go ahead and grab your 2-plate, especially if you don't have any armor on, and then just kind of chill for a little bit until you can pack your weapon once and you get enough salvage to buy a war machine. If for some reason you fail the zombie bartending Easter egg, that's okay. What you can do is you can reattempt it after, I believe, 5 rounds have passed. Otherwise, you can just go to round 25 and get the perk from the Wonder Fizz. Alright, so keep an eye on your salvage. Remember, you need 2,250 for the war machine. If you want to do this with the death machine, it's only 1,750. I highly recommend that you wait till round 14 before you start the actual farming method, just because it'll be a lot easier if you get rid of all the Buckethead zombies. But technically, we could go ahead and start this probably by round 10. So I'll meet you at round 14. Alright, so basically once we're all set up here, it's round 13. Again, all you need are really 3 perks: Jug, Quick Revive, and Melee, or PhD Flopper. Sorry, not Melee. I did the Rat King's Easter egg here. We got a monkey. Got some free perk, which is Vulture Aid, which is actually pretty awesome. That's another perk that can help you out with this. So you'll see that we have just about everything here. What I would recommend for this, it'll make your life easier. Go ahead and have your weapon pack-a-punched. Make sure that you have killed and picked up 4 stamps so that you have all of the swords unlocked. And then I would recommend a 3-plate armor vest. You don't have to have a 3-plate armor vest, but it will make your life a lot easier. So just, use at your own discretion. We're going to go through one round here. You can see I have all 4 swords unlocked. I did build the lion sword. I think everybody knows how to do this, so we skipped that part of the video just to make things a little bit shorter for you. You will need the rampage inducer on while you're doing this. So when you're ready, go ahead and kill out the wave just like normal, and you're going to have enough salvage that you can build a war machine. So that's the first step. You want to make sure that you have a war machine. If you want your 3-plate vest, grab your 3-plate vest. Any other perks or anything else are entirely personal preference. At the end of the day, you can use whatever you would like or not. With the rampage inducer on, though, it does get a little hairy, so that's why we're playing a little bit more defensively and, getting a few more perks and whatnot. I'm doing one more wave, and then we're actually going to get the farming portion of this started here. You don't really have to worry about upgrading your weapon. I do like using the dead wire ammo mod for this, so if you have the extra salvage, go ahead and grab the ammo mod that you want. Other than that, that's really all that you need to worry about too much. There's a free death machine right there. Not going to use that. The death machine is not the best score streak for this. It's just use it if you do not have enough salvage to get a war machine. The first time that you pull out the war machine, you're going to have to chamber that round. And we're going to get our 3-plate vest. Eventually, if you go to like wave 25, you will want to grab yourself a Deadshot Daiquiri and then a very wonderful little bit of death perception. And that will make it so that your war machine is more efficient, but we don't actually need that for what we're doing here. So, now what we're going to do, you got to make sure that you have at least 1,600 points so you can use the point of power trap. Obviously, if you do this at low rounds, you're not going to get that much essence back, so bear that in mind. This is not the best thing for essence. This is not the best thing for gobblegums, kill farming. Basically, this is for the event and only for the event. So on low rounds, you simply just don't have that many zombies. And especially on these low round bug rounds, it's just better to use your regular weapon, especially with Deadwire with that lightning bolt strike, to just go ahead and murder everything. Now what we're going to have to do though is go to a point of power trap, activate it with our weapon out, and then we're going to simply tap down on the D-pad, pull out our war machine, and we do have to be careful of the amalgams because the amalgams can actually knock us out of the point of power trap or pull us out of the point of power trap. And if you talked to the doc, then unfortunately the point of power traps are part of the main Easter egg, and until you finish that step, some of the point of power traps would end almost instantly. Now normally what you want to do is you want to transition from one point of power trap to the next point of power trap in between waves. You can also activate the point of power traps when you have your lion sword out, or any of the swords. I built the lion sword just for safety's sake. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be rotating through these various point of power traps. So now, what the point of power trap does is the point of power trap gives us infinite ammo for the weapon that we have out. Obviously, you can't activate the point of power trap with a score streak out, which is why we have to activate it with a regular weapon out, hence why I recommended having a weapon that you can move around the map pretty quickly with. And obviously, it's a grenade launcher, so that's why we needed PhD Flopper. But this makes it so that all of the kills are basically like 99% of the kills that you get in a game are going to be kills that count for your event challenge. So when we're doing this on the lower level waves, where we're actually able to kill off like one and a portion of the wave with a single use of the trap, unfortunately that's actually a little bit bad for us, because it means that by the time we rotate around, sometimes this point of power trap will actually still be on cooldown, so you're going to have to go outside and use one of the point of power traps outside the castle. Relatively easy though. It also means that you'll inevitably end up wasting a few rounds from your war machine, so eventually you're going to have to make another war machine. You can do this for as many rounds as you would like, but the Rampage Inducer automatically turns off at health cap, which is round 55, so just bear that in mind. And pretty much the worst thing that can happen is if you run out of War Machine during the wave. So, yeah, then you're going to have to come back out. There's a crafting bench right here that we can use. And once again, this is why I have my nice Ether Shroud here, so we can just go Ether Shroud, get out of there safely. You can see that that point of power trap is on cooldown. I'm running the wrong way, so made this a little more difficult on myself. I'm going to go outside of the castle and use the point of power trap. I'll just show you. We're going to get a bunch of points for this. Personally, I would recommend going to like somewhere between round 51 and 56, and then decide whether you want to continue doing this or not. It's personal preference if you want to. Try to stockpile as much salvage as you can while you're doing this. So if you want to retirement plan and then just use mutant injectors to wipe each wave, you'll have the ability to do so. If you get stuck down here, you can very easily take the slide. And on round 25, like I said earlier, I would recommend that you grab the Deadshot Daiquiri and your nice, very, very spicy Death Perception perk. That way, if you have the augment set up on them that I recommended, you will occasionally get a couple of rounds back for your war machine. This way, if you use a couple of extra rounds, you know, just because of the way that this weapon fires in 3-round burst, and you can hold down the trigger on it and just keep firing, at least you're less likely to burn through the entirety of your war machine. I would say it takes roughly about 20 minutes to go ahead and fully set up for this. You don't, of course, have to go as slow as I did. You can start earlier. It's just awkward because you won't necessarily get enough essence back. Plus, I made a couple of mistakes there with just not going the proper direction for that one trap. So, I'm a little bit slow here. If you're going to kill off bug waves, you are going to have to go ahead and upgrade your weapon, but this is all you do, folks. This is probably the worst point of power trap. This is the slowest one right here, just because the enemies have the largest amount of area to spawn in and wander around, but it's still totally doable. Eventually you will get to the point where one point of power trap will not wipe out the entirety of the wave, so then you'll have to either kill a few stragglers with your regular weapons, something like, you know, the lion sword or whatnot, or you're just going to have to rotate between point of power traps during the wave. Again, not honestly all that bad. Just don't make any rookie mistakes like me going to the point of power trap with your score streak out. And this is the easiest way that I have been able to actually set up and test consistently. Because like I said, you can use the glitch for infinite field upgrades, but you need to get the proper SAM trial for that, which that's very inconsistent. Alright, what I'm going to do, since we have round 25 here, I am going to go ahead and buy the rest of my perks, show you how that works with the Deadshot Daiquiri Death Perception combo, and then we'll take a look at how this is on high rounds. Just to show that it does work, but I know you folks don't want to watch an hour-long video. So, I've showed basically every one of the point of power locations. It's super simple and easy to do. Try to avoid picking up nukes if you can, and obviously if there's a double points or max armor, grab those. On round 25, if you can, leave a zombie or two alive. This way you can go ahead and make your way down to the tavern and buy any of the perks that you might want. Remember, you'll need to keep a little bit of essence so that you can continue activating the point of power traps. So for me, Deadshot Daiquiri, Death Perception, and the wonderful double tap. Other than that, you don't really need Elemental Pop, or you could use Melee Macchiato if you're going to carry a sword. I'm carrying the Lion Sword, so obviously having Melee Macchiato would kind of be a good idea for me. But if you're not using the Lion Sword to transition between traps, like I said, you can go ahead and have it out and actually then activate the point of power trap, press down on the D-pad to pull out your war machine. So if you want to be safe on higher waves as you get closer to health cap and beyond, then transitioning with the Lion Sword is the way to go. Especially in that case, you're probably going to buy all the perks anyways, but then you definitely want Melee Macchiato. So yeah, this is all you do. Spin in a circle, unload grenades, rinse and repeat, go to the next trap. Keep that going as long as you want. At round 51, you could successfully exfil if you wanted to do so. Entirely personal preference, but you don't have to. We are on round 48, just to show this is working exactly the same as it was before, on a much higher round. Obviously, we have all of our perks here, so there is a very small chance that we can get a little bit of ammo back for the war machine. You can also just hold down the trigger on the war machine. If you didn't know that, you don't have to tap fire it. You can see we started with like 13 rounds. Now we're up to 17 rounds here. So that helps out because inevitably you will fire an extra couple of rounds just depending on when the trap, you know, ends. So very easy. All you have to do is keep rotating. It's basically one of the easiest strats that you can do here, and this works on bug rounds as well. The neat thing is you can also put armor plates in while you're holding down the trigger for the war machine. So that's super convenient. And basically we're just ensuring that every single one of the kills that we get, or almost every single one of the kills that we get, is going to be with a score streak. That means that we will be able to actually get a massive, utterly massive amount of points for the event. Then you can just swap back to your sword, transition to the next trap. Of course, we're at the point where there's enough zombies per wave that 1 point of power trap, unless you get really lucky, is not quite enough to go ahead and eliminate the entire wave. So you're going to have to either kill some with your sword or rotate to a new trap. That max armor is just clutch when it drops for you. This room right here in the sitting rooms, this point of power is probably the fastest point of power trap for all of them. You should be able to wipe the entirety of a wave, even as you get close to or are at health cap. But make sure that you don't get stuck in this hallway going down as you rotate to the next point of power trap. If you do, it can be very dangerous. So like I said, you have to make a decision here. Either around wave 51 to 56, somewhere in between those numbers, you're going to either want to exfil, if you are going to exfil from the match, and then just reset, because honestly it takes like maybe 20 minutes to set this up, and then every single round after round 55 you have like that whole 20-second just waiting phase. So I don't know, if you want to deal with it, then you're gonna get more zombies, and the higher the waves, the more zombies you have, the more zombies you have, the more points you have. You're also gonna have more specials and more elites. So honestly, it is 6 to 1, half a dozen to the other. How you want to do it. Is your time spent better off just, you know, cycling the traps and waiting the cooldown, or is your time better off spent just resetting? Feed yourself to the zombies or get the successful exfil. It's entirely personal preference. Personally, I think it would depend on how much salvage you have built up, because as you can see here, it does get kind of wild as we get close to the health cap, and my health is taking a hit. Of course, I didn't have armor, and these guys are coming up behind me. As soon as that trap ends, just to give myself some breathing room, we're going to go ahead and use our Ether Shroud. I also have to be prepared that, well, unfortunately, I'm going to need to have a new war machine, and eventually you will have to craft a new one. So I only have 18,450 salvage right here, which is not necessarily ideal. I did make one mistake and I did get myself downed because, yes, this is kind of hairy. So I would say it depends on how much salvage you have. If you have a ton of salvage, so you have a retirement plan and you can just mutant injector your way through another, 20 or so waves, then yeah, sure, by all means, just stay in the same match. But if you don't have that set up, I would highly recommend that you simply just exit the match on wave 56, whether you do that by killing yourself or just successfully exfilling is entirely personal preference, and then go ahead and set the match right back up again. It all depends on how sweaty your leaderboard is. My leaderboard isn't too sweaty because the most optimal time to start these leaderboard events is about 2 days into the event. So that way, all the people who are really super sweat zombies, they're usually going to play immediately as soon as the update goes live, or they're going to wait to the very last minute of the last day to go ahead and play. This way they feel like they're going to get a easier leaderboard, but a lot of folks have the exact same idea, and then you're kind of competing in a sweaty leaderboard at the same time as not having a whole lot of time left on the event. So, dealer's choice at the end of the day. I wish everybody good luck with your leaderboards. Hopefully you're not running into too many super sweats, but this is the legit way to do it. You don't have to worry about any glitches. This is just using a mechanic that's in the game, so this isn't going to get patched out on you. It's not going to get changed. I mean, it is kind of crazy that this does work the way that it works, with the point of power traps giving infinite ammo for score streaks, but it works. It's a mechanic that's in the game. It's been in the game for quite some time, so you don't have to worry about it. Bug waves, again, can be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but all we have to do is transition to the next trap, and then we can do the exact same thing and just wipe out the bug wave. Now, like I mentioned at the start of the video, there is a glitch that you can use to get unlimited field upgrades, basically God mode, unlimited frenzy guard. If you want to do that, you can. It will give you more points faster than this method. However, the problem with it is the RNG nature of it. If you don't get the specific SAM trial that you need to set it up, then it's impossible to do. So just keep that in the back of your noggin. Think about it. If you want to give it a couple of tries, I'll basically tell you what it is. All you're going to do is you're going to go into Liberty Falls. You're going to set up for the bowling ball Easter egg, or the bowling lane Easter egg, except you're not going to shoot the final shoes there at the gas station, and you're going to just do SAM trials until you get a SAM trial for actually going in and getting kills while a field upgrade is active. You're going to have the field upgrade that you want to glitch out active. You're going to go ahead and use it, get 1 or 2 kills, wait for it to deplete, and then you are going to simply recharge your field upgrade during the duration of that SAM trial, and go all the way back to the starting spawn area, hit the shoes in the gas station, and start the whole bowling lanes little side Easter egg there on Liberty Falls. If you do that all in the, I think it's like a minute or a minute and 30 seconds, something like that, that the SAM trial gives you, then when the bowling Easter egg ends, you'll be able to recharge your field upgrade within like 4 zombie kills. So basically you'll be able to have 100% uptime, or 9-year 100% uptime on really any field upgrade that you want, which obviously for this it would work best if you used Frenzied Guard with Retribution, but again, that is then relying on a glitch. So I can completely understand why folks would not want to do that. As you can see here, we are on round 56. I just wiped out round 56. It's going to swap to round 57. Even with the Rampage Inducer on, we have this downtime, this just dead time where you can run around and do whatever you want, which is great for playing the game normally, but it's not so great if you are just trying to min-max hard focus event points. So this is why I say you just want to reset after round 55, get your successful exfil if you're farming gobblegums and you want those whimsicals. But if you have a retirement plan, or you just want to stay in the same game, you can keep staying in the same game. It's just a little bit annoying. And if you have your retirement plan, then what you're going to do is you're going to get down here into the tavern basement, and you're going to use a mutant injector. So if you have enough salvage that you can use a mutant injector every wave, be careful not to pick up nukes if you can avoid it. Remember, these all count as score streak kills, which is what we need. So basically, this is the high round strat on almost all of the maps. You're pretty much using a wonder weapon, and then you're using mutant injectors. The only exception being the Reckoning for it. Then in that case, you're using like the death machine, but you're probably still using the wonder weapon as well. So which won't help you. There's no way to farm a boss and get extra points or any shenanigans like that. But as you can see, the downside here is the fact that, well, you are spending 2,500 essence per time that you want a mutant injector. So unless you get really lucky and you happen to get some from maybe some SAM trials that you did or whatnot, you're only going to be able to go through a limited number of rounds with this particular technique, and then you're going to have to go get more salvage, and that's going to slow down your overall progression. So again, entirely personal preference how you want to do this. You can try to kill a few zombies in the beginning of the round with the lion sword if you've built it, especially if you can kill a couple of the specials or elites. They have a chance of dropping you a score streak if you kill them normally. If you kill them while using a score streak, they don't drop you anything. So again, I'll say dealer's choice on that one. Now what we're going to do here, we're going to skip the successful exfil. We're just going to go ahead and sacrifice ourselves, get the after action report here on round 59. I got a nuke. That's another reason why I don't like this, because if you get a nuke, you're just kind of like, well, shoot, that's unfortunate. But I'm going to show you roughly how many points we got here. This was not my fastest time. It was 1 hour and 6 minutes, but with explanation, making a couple of rookie mistakes, and, you know, trying to record at the same time, all in all, it wasn't too terribly bad. You can see I got some decent gobbles there. We're going to take a look at the after action report. In 1 hour and 6 minutes, we gained 15,615 points that way. We also got some gobbles. I did get a near-death experience, which is pretty cool. So for the event, that now brought me up to a grand total of 40,000 points. You could bring that time more efficiently to roughly, say, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, as you become more proficient, and the earlier that you start that strategy, you might even be able to get it down to 40 minutes for a round 56 completion, and then just reset. So very easy to farm up tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of points. Hope you enjoyed the video. Till next time, my brothers and sisters, thy legion, stay frosty.